Today's video is a two-parter. First, pack your lunch, because we're going on a field trip. Secondly, we're going to find out what's in all of these cases. So yeah, pretty much everywhere I go, there's a large pile of bags that follow along. You're looking at here just a collection of the stuff that I usually take when I shoot. There's cameras, drones are there, GoPros, auxiliary power as well, which is extremely important. This is the back of the RAV4 loaded up. I have a cargo net, just like on an airplane, that I use to keep everything in there for transport, so it doesn't shift around too much. So here we are heading to site. This is going to be a look at a sand quarry of some sort. So here we are, we've arrived. This is the way that the cases sit in the car. I built this shelf right here so that I could have a horizontal surface within the RAV that I can put my drones on and work off of. Now you're looking at me getting ready to fly. I've opened up the Mavic 3 case. I've got the iPad and the controller. There's the drone there coming out of the case. You got to remember that by the time I get to a set like this, there's really no room for error. There's no going back. Like right at this point, I've probably traveled over an hour and a half to get to this location. So everything's in the car, ready to go. I need to set up the Jackery. This is essentially a car battery in a box, and it's got an inverter in it that changes the DC signal to 120 volts AC, and it's able to push my 65-watt charger that I use to charge the drones really well. I'm basically setting this up for later so that when I land, I can throw a battery in and get it ready to go. I mean, if I forgot something like a power cable or an SD card or something like that, you're done for the day. You only have to do that once. I remember when I was in school, we were on our final documentary project about the airport in Thunder Bay, Ontario. And we showed up at the airport with all of our van chocked full of equipment, big crew. And I was shooting that day and I had forgotten the tripod plate. Back in those days, this was serious grip equipment that, you know, the cameras were, 15 to 20 pounds. And if you didn't have something to put that on, it was just a nightmare. So for the rest of the day, we shot off of garbage cans and chairs and fences and anything we could find to put the camera on. So it was a good learning experience. And that's why I always say go to school for this stuff, because that's where you get to make those mistakes and learn them. So never again. Now I'm like a Boy Scout. I'm always prepared. And I've learned the 5 Ps, which is prior planning prevents poor performance. Here I am unfolding the Mavic 3, getting it ready. I know I'm about to decide that I'm going to need different ND filters on it here, but let's get her juiced up. I fly with an iPad rather than the phone. It's just become my habit over the years. So here I am getting into my iPad, turning on the DJI Fly app. When I'm out in the field, I hotspot through my phone to my iPad. That allows the apps to connect. Here I am remembering that I had bought a Tim Hortons coffee in Southern Ontario. Everything is fueled by Tim Hortons, of course. They're on every corner. It's really horrible coffee. It keeps you going during the day. Is I take a GoPro and I stick it on top of the roof so that I can get my drone taking off. And this is used for 100 different reasons. One of them being my own liability. It gives me a timestamp on when I took off and when I land. And also I use it for my videos. I like to get that idea that kind of breaks the fourth wall a bit. It allows people to understand that these images aren't coming from nowhere, that there's actually a camera flying through the air. So that's normal startup for a drone job. Is it takes about 10 minutes to get things cooking. Fast forward a whole bunch of time. I'm bringing the drone back. I've learned over the years to keep it consistent. No hand launching, no hand catching, and try to land the same every time. All right, so here's another angle on the setup. The drone is now back at home. I'm changing batteries here. So I usually don't throw the battery directly into the charger. I just put it aside for a couple of minutes and let it cool down. And then this is a fresh unit going into the Mavic 3 there. Flight number 2. Drone is started there. You can see the prop spinning, and off she goes. Oh yeah, I wanted to also show, this is my fire extinguisher. Very important, because these little batteries will burn your house down if you're not careful. Those are lithium polymer batteries, and they do have to be treated with care and respect. I have seen and heard of horror stories, for sure. The drone is doing its, what I call the master shots. This is another autonomous flight pattern, and it gives me a bunch of little pieces to work with in editing. Now the drone is coming back, a return to home procedure here. This Mavic 3 is pretty close to returning to the same spot it took off from every time. Sometimes with wind and stuff, it needs a bit of correction. Like now. So I'm there on the controller correcting it. So there it is. Landed safe and sound. And this is the shutdown procedure. I just go through each piece of equipment and take it down. Right, so we've just flown. This is putting the drone stuff away. So you never forget anything on site, because you can kind of look at your cases and be like, yeah, I got it all. Good, let's get out of here. Next up, I'm going to be doing some ground video. So this is my Ronin setup here. That is the Ronin RS4 Mini, and I will be placing my FX3 on there, which has turned out to be a real workhorse of a camera. Sony's got it all figured out for sure. Even though I shoot photography with Canon, I do use Sony for video at this point. It's a good camera, and S-Log3 really works for difficult high contrast situations like this one, where it's super bright out. So that's now ready to go. The bottom line here is that everything has a place and everything stays charged. I have backups for my backups. So let's go back to the studio and have a look at what's inside. So as you can see from that field footage, everything that makes it work is packed into these cases. Now, let's do a deeper dive and see what's inside. All right, here's the Mavic 3 Pelican case. It's got the drone here, the RC-N1 controller, mission critical cable. I just keep it there because, man, you lose those and you're done for the day. So I keep it there always. In this one, I have my charging block, as well as a power cable, as well as a spare power cable, and of course, spare SD cards. Got to have those, of course. Yeah. And then I find these are good for data as well. The anchor cables are pretty good. And then in gear, I keep a spare set of props, as well as all of my paperwork. These are my certifications, stuff like that. I keep them around in case anybody asks. Batteries, keep them charged. And oh yeah, I've got one more battery in the drone. It just kind of sits in there, which is cool. I've got cheat notes here that I keep with me. And basically, when you get old, you forget things. So this is basically like charge your batteries, charge the iPad, charge the remote, SD card and drone, SD card spares, cables for phone, cables for iPad, tripod or desk stand, jackery needed, yes or no. And then photo checklist, cameras, lenses, batteries, extra batteries, tripod, and if it's going to be a gimbal job, the Ronin. So I keep that here, and you know what? It just, every once in a while I glance at it and I go, yeah, you know what? I forgot a bunch of stuff. This is my iPad, and this is how I fly. I use the RC-N1 controller and an iPad combo. So this runs the DJI Fly app, and yeah, works pretty good. I just never got into the screen controllers because I found that this one here has plenty of power, so I didn't really need secondary. Yeah, there you go. It's another 1520 case here. This one has the Air 2S in it. Basically, there's the drone on this side. Again, it's got that case that it came with, so it kind of sits nicely in there. Again, another RC-N1 controller. This is the one that I use for this particular drone. I have 5 batteries for the Air 2S. They don't last very long, so I keep those charged up as well and in their case, ready to go. I bought this years ago. This is a charger, and it's a parallel charger, so I can put 4 of these little guys right here on it, and it does them all at once, which is kind of nice. I like that. Mission critical control cable, I always needed. And then in here, I've got my NDs for the Air 2S, spare cables, spare props. That's about it. And sometimes when it comes to small stuff, you know, it really is, the manufacturers have thought of it all. This is how the Aveda comes with the Fly More combo. And I just kept it here because it's so convenient to carry around. I mean, they've got the drone, fits in there, the controller, right? The goggles, and 3 batteries right there in the little charging hub. That all fits in there. And basically, yeah, it's ready to go. I've already lost I don't know where the thing went for that, but it's like losing a lens cap. It happens. So yeah, with that, I didn't get another case for it because I much prefer just carrying that around. All right, this is one of my favorites, my GoPro case. And in here, I've got 3 GoPros. This is a Hero 10, and this is a 12 here. You'll notice in my drone work, I do a lot of attachment to cars and stuff like that. So these just to kind of clip on here with the ULANZI quick clip system. And then this is like a magnetic base holder. And then I can use the adjustments to position the camera wherever I need it. And then the other one that I use all the time, this is a suction cup mount from ULANZI with the quick clip system. Put that right on there like that. And boom. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I wouldn't drive down the highway with it, but it's basically not going anywhere. The jaws of life here. These are good for pipes and, you know, metal bars, that kind of thing. And you can clamp that on. And got this thing, which is a great big honking tripod, which will hold the weight of the GoPro quite nicely in the air. And this extends out really, really long. So it's like I'll use it when I'm out in the field and I need to get the GoPro taking a picture of something. It's handy. This right here is a battery block, and this is a charge kit with 2 GoPro batteries in it. So basically, if I run these down, I've got 2 more spares sitting in the car, and those will be good for this. And I put my 3 GoPros with the screen against the foam like that, so they don't get scratched. And I just cover them up. And yeah, that's the official GoPro case. Nice. All the photographers in the crowd will probably know this one. This is my 1510. The FX3 fits in here, just right in that hole. And then I've got all my stuff here kind of jammed in around it. Or the RS4 Mini gimbal. And then I've got my audio gear in here, cables in here, audio handle for the camera there. And then there's just enough room on the other side here to put to my, I use the Atomos Ninja 5. So it sits sort of along the side over here. So it doesn't get too bashed up. Yeah. So that's the 1510. I've also got the lid part here. It's got extra cables, extra handle bits and stuff like that. The 1510 case. And there you have it. Everything you see in the field comes out of those cases. And if that's done right, everything just works. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this tour through my equipment cases. And now I'm going to leave you with a bunch of drones taking off.